Përshëndetje të dashur bashkëdhetar, ndodhemi në restorantin Cello në Staten Island, New York, ku organizata rënjët shqiptaro-amerikane në bashkëpunim me Ligën Qytetare Shqiptaro-Amerikane udhëhequr nga kongresisti me origjinë arbëreshe Joe Diguarti do të organizojnë darkë kongresi për çështjen e Çamërisë. Është një çështje e dhimbshme për popullin shqiptar dhe në të do të marrë pjesë për herë të parë edhe kongresisti amerikan zoti Grigor Mix. Për më shumë ju lëm të ndiqni kronikën e përgatitur nga televizioni Alba Live. Për televizionin Alba Live, Kozeta Zylo, New York.
My name is Safet Doçi from Kraja. I'm one of the organizers. And I want to thank everyone for showing up, supporting our future Congressman, Mr. Max Rose. Thank you very much. Tonight, if anybody is interested in donating, Audrey is on the table there. We welcome that because in American politics, we all know it takes money to be successful. I want to thank you on that behalf. And also tonight, the speaker of this evening, who's going to be handling the program, is Ariana Kovanci. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome, Congressman Meeks, former Congressman Diagardi, former and future Congressman Rose, as well as candidate for State Senate, Jessica Scarcella-Spanton, District 23. We are gathered here for a very important cause, and that is Albanian human rights in Çamëria. Today, Albanian community, and that's former and future Congressman Max Rose. So, Congressman Max Rose is unlike his opponent, Malatakis, who refuses to even acknowledge or accept the bloodshed and genocide that happened in Çamëria. Right now, today with us, we have Salih Bulati, survivor of Çamëria. People like Max Rose are so important, and that is because without the support of our former congressman, our issues do not move forward. We are here gathered to also, learn how to push forward our cause to get a hearing for Çamëria and make sure the victims get justice. Congressman Max Rose has the support of Congressman Diagardi, Albanian hero, General Clark, Albanian hero, and President Bill Clinton, another Albanian hero. I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, for the support for both Çamëria and Congressman Rose, and I would like to pass it off to Jessica.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Scarcella-Spanton. I'm running for the New York State Senate here on Staten Island. We represent the North Shore. We go as far east as Dongan Hills, so right here. Most importantly, though, I will say I grew up here in Dongan Hills. I grew up right on Berger Avenue. I went to school at IS2 with Florida over here, so we have a lot of connections. And I just wanted to really emphasize the importance of this upcoming election. We are doing everything we can to get into every community, but I have to say, everything I learn and every day I become a better candidate because of this guy right here, our congressman, our former congressman, and our next congressman, Max Rose. I truly, truly cannot emphasize how important it is to get everybody out to vote this year. Max is the one who's going to be in charge of the important issues in our community, our foreign affairs with our Congressman Meeks here. And, you know, I need partners in government that we can really get things done for. I'm here to handle the more local and state issues, and I want to be as accessible as I possibly can to this community. And I need Max Rose. I just joked with him. I said, I'm riding on your coattails right to the election, because I meet so many wonderful people. And, you know, he's going to be in charge of the issues that are most important to you, and I'm here to help you with your state and local issues. So again, we're encouraging everyone, if every person in this room got 5 of their family members to vote, 10 of their friends to vote, we are going to see victory on November 8th. So please do that.
Are you proud to be Albanian? Yes! I know you're proud to be American, right? Yes! Don't forget America, because the Albanian people really need America today.
Absolutely.
Where would we be without NATO, right?
Yes. We would not be here, that's for sure.
It's so good to see you all, but don't forget why we're here. We're here to support a great guy. Max, come over here. You know, and Max, I see him on TV from time to time, and I think, boy, what a presentation this guy makes. He's got a lot of spirit. He's a great veteran. You know, he's got a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star as well. He can give an endorsement. Let's do it. So he wrote the letter. He gets, but, you know, everything comes with a price. You're not going to be charged for the dinner tonight, but you know what? He's running, and he needs your support. You have someone here to collect money for him?
Oh yeah, Audrey.
Okay.
Everyone.
Audrey.
The whole team.
Audrey. I got a check from the Albanian American Public Affairs Committee. We have a lobby called the Albanian American Civic League. We have a foundation called the Albanian American Foundation. And we have the Albanian American Public Affairs Committee. We did what the Jews did. I picked the same names and whatnot. We don't call the PAC a PAC. We call it a Public Affairs Committee, because we want the people to know it's just not about money, it's about education. You got to teach people, especially when it comes from Albanians. I got to Congress in 1984, and I did not know the word Kosovo. I was raised in the Bronx as an Italian American with an Albanian father, and Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, that's where I went to school and whatnot. We moved to Westchester when I was 15, and then I decided to leave a career after 22 years to run for Congress. Everybody thought I was crazy. You can't get elected, you never ran for anything. I only say that to you because the greatest thing I did was to leave that professional career behind, go to Congress, and meet the Albanian people. I have never been more honored in my life to go around the world and see Albanians from everywhere, how much they appreciate America for what we did. But the job's not finished. Everybody says, Joe, you know, you're in history. Yeah, we can't say that yet. The job is not over. Did you read the papers yesterday? Vucic is now creating a hot spot. And you know who loves that? Russia, Putin, right? So we got to be really careful. I'm saying this because we need this man very much. Gregory Meeks I've known for years too, and we're going to have some kind of a hearing on it before the end of the year. What I did is I brought a book. Where's that book that I gave you for this? Yeah, I want to show this. Yeah. This one, you may not remember, but I went to see Ramiz Aliyah in 1990, and I brought a Jewish American congressman with me, Tom Lantos. During that meeting, it was kind of like an accident, because we were ending the meeting after 2.5 hours, and Ramiz Aliyah was not like Enver Hoxha. He was a real diplomat. And at the end of it, I said to Mr. President, Ramiz Aliyah, do you know that he's here's Tom Lantos, a very important Jewish American. He turns to Tom Lantos, you're Jewish? He Tom Lantos says, yes. Have you been to Berat? No. So he arranges for us to go to Berat, an ancient city that had a lot of Jews from many years ago. And then the next morning, in my hotel room, a file comes, maybe 3-4 inches. And I'm looking through it. It's got photos, it's got press clippings, it's got letters in different languages. And who was it? These were the Jews that were saved by Albanians trying to connect with those Albanians, but the communists never let the letters through. They took the money out of the envelopes and they put it on a shelf in the communist archives. I didn't wait more than a week. I brought it to Israel. And they couldn't believe the story that so many Jews were saved by the Albanian people. I just want you to know that. Now, he has... Why is that story important today? And I think Sally Bellotti would know. Greeks have not been good when it comes to human rights. You know that. We had a massacre. The General Zafiris, I think his name was. We've tried so many times to get this issue on the front of the table. But it's been difficult because the Greeks have been very good with their issue. They know how to raise money. We go to a Greek fundraiser, and by the way, I won in a district and had the support of 3 Greek Orthodox churches. They know how to get all the diners together, you know, and line up and support. But we do the same thing. But there's no question that the issue of Çamëria, the Arvanites, the Muslims, and the Orthodox, this issue has to be brought forward. It's a disgusting thing what happened in World War II. And we have to somehow educate people like we did Kosovo. You know, when I got to Congress, not one congressman knew the word Kosovo. Not the Senate, not the House. Even though we brought him to New York, that was the first time he heard the word Kosovo. And we then started a movement, Levizia, right? That's the Albanian word for it. And that movement educated a lot of people in Congress. Excuse my back, by the way. No problem. Yeah. By the way, my wife Shirley is here. Executive guy from RV. She worked so hard, and she has so much bravery. I renamed her Shota Galica. I told her when I die, you got to get all those bullets and put them on, and you got to show it. In any case, please be generous as you can. Some of you may not be able to afford, I think, but whatever you can afford tonight, give a contribution. I'm going to write it out. You have someone there that's going to collect them?
We got 10 people down there.
All right, but you got to be careful because you can't just throw cash. You got to sign a form. It's got to be done the right way. Okay? And I will sign that check.
Fantastic.
Yeah, too. All right, but if you have a check on you, please write it out. What's the name of the campaign?
Max Rose for Congress.
Max Rose for Congress. Easy. Sally, good to see you. This man has been around since I've been around, you know, lobbying for the Greeks who are Albanians. They call them Çamëria, they call them Arvanites. You got Muslim and Orthodox. And at the time in World War II, there was an exchange. You can't believe what Albanians have gone through. They did it in the 20s, and they then did it again in the late 40s, where they exchanged Muslim Albanians, you know, to Turkey for Orthodox in Greece. I mean, you talk about ethnic cleansing. Albanians have been subject to the worst kind of ethnic cleansing you can think of. You got to go back to the 18th century to see how they were abused. But that same abuse is going on now in Preševa. I don't know whether you saw yesterday, we arranged for the 4 leaders of Preševa to come to meet the new president of Albania, Beđaj. Why did we do that? We did it because we wanted to put Preševa on the map. Just like people didn't know Kosovo, people today don't know that there's 100,000 Albanians in a place called the Preševa Valley, and that they're treated the worst in Europe. Good luck to you, and you're in our prayers, but you look like you got the spirit, Shpirti Zemra, to do this.
John Balej is an Albanian activist that's been here in the front line for many, many years, and I want to give him a few words. Thank you.
Mix, thank you for coming to Staten Island. Congressman Rose, I wish you lots of luck. Even Staten Island is a Republican. It's a tough job. Joe, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Dear Albanian, welcome here. I'm supposed to be one of Albanians who support Congressman Meeks 15 years ago, like 4 or 5 years in the line. It was in Springfield Boulevard, Danton's restaurant. No more Albanians was there. And I was the fighter with my pocket, Congressman Meeks, not Joe, with people's money for Mark. And I'm glad I came there because I remember I met lots of celebrities there. Hillary Clinton, Congressman Brangler, soon as I ran toward him. And I said, Congressman, in name of Albanians, he said, we have a good resolution for Kosovo. And yes, who met Shabazz? Shabazz, indeed, I was sitting with the chairman of NATO at the table. When she gave a speech, she said, what are we doing here? And I said, by the way, I have a brother from different mother. So that brother from different mother is called Rashford Mendez, our common friend. Is such a beauty of human being. And indeed I asked him, where are you from? He said, I'm from Jamaica. So those can go and convert him to Jew, since he's ready to convert to Jew before he changes his mind. But what I did is amazing. I was lucky to be a manager in a company, and people come to, I was a recruiting manager. Where do you live? In Queens. Congressman Meeks is in Queens. How many people live in the building? 200. 200 people. Brightest letter signed to each one. And that's the Congressman Meeks. He was the only one congressman who returned the letter back. And he said, yes, without support, without independence of Kosovo, it will be no peace and landing in the Balkans. So I thank you for that. So, Congressman, as his brother, called Balati, Çamëria, 4 provinces of Albanians under Turks. They spoke to Vilayet Yanims, taken over by genocide. Go back to Kimpan Photography Ball. 13 and 45. He's survivor of the genocide. I promised him. I took with me everywhere I go. And I promised.
You are a hero.
I don't want to see Joe in a picture. I don't want to see Mark Cape in a picture, nobody. Letters there. Whenever it's needed, I will be responsible. All we need is resolution. Somebody in U.S. Congress. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming here. And I am here, Albanian, but I'm proud to be American because our part of Albania that is occupied by Greeks 80 years ago, they killed and expelled us for our ethnic property that we live in there, say, Albania. I was 7 years old. They killed me 7 people. 82 years old, my grandpa, and 2 years old, my sister. 7 people because they were Albanian. And Greeks don't want Albanian. Greeks, even the Americans, I am here proud to be American, as a Rolling Stone, I remained here. I was born in part of Albania in Greece. I grew up in Albania. I studied as chemical engineer in former Czechoslovakia. And now I say always, I believe in God and America blessed. Because here in America, my brother Ugyon Bala with Cosetta and all, they helped us. And in New York, exception, not in Albania, every year with flags of Çamëria is Albanian, and the city of New York, the congressman and Mr. Joe Guardi is Albanian by, but he never forget Albania and Çamëria. When I came here 20 years ago, only in his organization was named Albanian Çamëria. And we are proud to be here because as Congressman Mix in United States Parliament, as you told, to be a resolution for genocide that did Greeks for Albanians. And one have something to say is one Malotaitis, and I don't know her. By her, very shams words that speak about Max Gross. And I want to speak to everybody, but when Clinton with the American army go and sell the Albanians in Kosovo, Greeks don't want to allow to pass American army through the Greeks. And Greeks are with Russia. Greeks are not democratic country. Democratic country is here, and we are proud again to be here and to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
I'm a straight up guy, down to the point. My name is Max Rose, and when you elect me, the Albanian American community will have a fighter here on Staten Island. You won't have someone who ignores your community. You're going to have someone who acknowledges your community every step of the way, because your community is my community.
Yes.
You know, my son, is my wife still here? They're in the bathroom. Where'd they go?
He's somewhere.
Someone go get just So my wife is here, and my son is 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay? My son here, because it is so important that he hears this story. He is so important that it is so important that we raise our son to understand the story of Çamëria, to understand the story of the Albanian people, to understand our son will understand this from day one. That's why every day when they're pushing prospects on, so he understands that our family is your ally, just as your family is our ally. He's hyped up. He's hyped up. Why do I say that? I'm a proud Jewish American. And I was raised to understand my roots, and I was raised to not take anything for granted. It's for that reason that I understand down to my heart and soul that the only nation on earth whose Jewish community grew during World War II was the Albanian community. Was the Albanian community. When I think about what type of elected official that I would aspire to be, Congressman Guardi comes to mind. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, he's spoken a lot about how he's a fighter for the Albanian American community, how he started organizations and leads organizations that put this community on the map. He's also a Republican. I'm a Democrat. What do you say we build an America where Republicans and Democrats come out and support each other when they believe what they're doing? Okay? Because the truth is that the truth is in the middle. The sensible middle. But common sense is not common. The far left, the far right, I'm sick and tired of the extremes. And our Republicans, our Congressman DeGuardi, are sick of the extremes as well. That's why we're in this race. That's what we're fighting for.
And let's not forget,
You know, things like public safety, they should be a Democrat or Republican issue. We should have to hold our breath with every election, thinking are the police going to be funded, thinking are we willing to keep criminals in jail, thinking are we willing to fund mental health treatment and school security treatment and school security funding, excuse me. We should have to hold our breath. But there's extremist Republicans like my opponent who oppose school security funding, extremist opponents like my opponent who oppose mental health treatment, extremist leaders like my opponent who oppose banning AR-15s and criminal checks on guns. Are you kidding me? What is this extremism that is overtaking our politics right now? It's scary.
very scary.
It's scary. We gotta stop it. We have to stop it. Now, another critical thing about getting me back in Congress, and you'll understand the segue when I say this, is keeping Chairman Gregory Meeks as the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Because, let me tell you this. There is no greater fighter for the Albanian American people and the Albanian people overseas than Gregory Meeks. No greater fighter. I called up Chairman Meeks. I said, Chairman, can you help me?
Sorry.
Can you help me? Right? Can I have your support? He said, Max, I'm offended you would even ask. I said, okay, I won't ask again. We're friends. We're brothers. I get it. But he said, Max, under one circumstance, under one condition, if I'm going to come to Staten Island, I am going to recognize that there is no larger Albanian community in the United States than in New York 11, and we better come visit the Albanian leaders on Staten Island and in South Brooklyn. And that's what we're doing tonight. That's how much this man cares. That's how much this man cares. We could have gone to any community. We could have gone to any community. This man covers all foreign affairs for the United States across the globe. Think about that. He has legislative purview over the diplomacy and foreign affairs over the entire globe. And we are here with you because that's how much he cares. That's how much he cares. That's how much I care. That's how much Congressman DeGuardi cares. That's how much you care. And I promise when I get to Congress, you're going to elect a fighter who will care each and every day. I won't read the polls when it comes to whether or not to call out the legacies of injustice. I won't read the polls when I say that the victims of genocide need recognition. I won't listen to the polls or to my donors when it comes to saying that Albanian human rights needs to be respected no matter what country it is. So please, from the bottom of my heart, I thank God for each and every one of you. I am so blessed to know you. I will be so blessed to fight for each and every one of you in Congress. Let's go out there on election day and let's go win this thing. Thank you so much. I'd like to say a few words.
This is really important. This election is really important. When Max asked me to come for him, I quickly said yes. And I wanted to make sure that I got to meet all of you, because there's a lot on the line. Look, this election, your support, and making sure, because let me just say this first. Thank each and every one of you. Because each and every one of you make the city, the state of New York, and the United States of America a better place. What you do by organizing, by talking and bringing folks together, you make sure the history of Albania, the culture of Albania is ingrained in everything that we do in this city and state, and that's what makes us a better place. Joe, thank you.
Thank you, Gregory.
Joe, thank you. Look, folks, there once was a time in Congress where Democrats and Republicans worked together, especially when it came for the betterment of our country. I wish I could say that was the same deal today. You know, Max just whispered in my ear. I'm not gonna say, he told me Joe's age, and I thought about how old, you know, the president and other folks is. We may have to make him make a comeback.
He has to go in Marines first.
But, look, I must admit that I'm a little tired. This is how this, and I say this only because this is how important it is to me. This morning, I just got off of a plane after flying about, really close to 24 hours. I was in the Indo-Pacific, in Palau, and Papua New Guinea, and Australia. But Max had asked me, could I get here for him? And I led the delegation that I had to get back here. I had to cut the trip to make sure I got back here. My wife tried to say, well, get some rest, dude. I said, no, I'm going to Staten Island because I got some good people to see, and I got to make sure that Max Rose gets elected. And we're living in interesting and historic times, troubling times, when we know what's taking place in Albania, when we know, and I think, Max, you said it right, when you start talking about Jewish Americans and their history. I often talk about African Americans and our history. And that's why I can relate to make sure that the importance of Albanian Americans and their history. Because we cannot make progress going forward unless we also have the history of who we are as a people and then make the changes that are necessary so that we can forge on. We can't do that if people don't acknowledge the true histories of what's going on. And when I think of what's taking place, Donald Trump, for example, thank God he's not the president now, because I can imagine what would happen with him and Russia dealing with Serbia, because we know that Serbia is playing a part in this Russian invasion that has taken over in Ukraine, and that's about trying to prevent folks from having freedom and democracy. And that's why Putin underestimated and thought that the United States and NATO and EU would be divided, and that's why we've got to fight to make sure, and I know you're beginning the assertion into the EU, we got to make sure that Albania is part of the EU and be united together. We're locked in together. This is, when I look at individuals who survive, when we talk about people that have witnessed and been a part of horror, everybody should stand up. Because when we see that kind of inhumanity, when we see that kind of torture, you know, Dr. King, who was one of the joys of my life and disciples to me, he said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we cannot allow, we stand with you. We stand on your shoulders.
God bless America.
And together, we'll make this place a better place.
Most of it is done, but they have a new guy in there called Vucic, and he's already starting to raise the heat in Kosovo and in Serbia against that Albanian population. So we need you.
You got me. You got me. You got me. So as long as I'm the chair, and this is what we're trying to work on, and we're trying to get something done before this term is over. And I feel confident if you go out and support Max Rose by voting for him and raising money for him. Because what's at stake is who chairs this committee. I can't do it without Max. I need Max so that we can maintain the majority, and then we can make sure that your voices, you know, Joe has come in and testified before the committee previously. And we need many of your voices. I would love your voice. Could you imagine your voice at a committee hearing for all the members? My dear friend, thank you for being a long-time friend. Thank you for being a hero and someone whose shoulders we stand on. And thank you.
God bless America and your family.
Thank you. And what you have to do is keep your voices. Come down to Washington, D.C. Let people on the committee, let people in the halls of Congress hear your voice. That's what this democracy is all about. Some don't want it to happen, and that's what January 6th was all about. And as a result, it's a little more difficult to get into the Capitol. But if you come and let us know, and we will make sure that we will have folks there to greet you and to bring you in to the People's House in the United States Capitol. And I would be grateful to see you on January 2nd, because that may be a very special day for you, all of you. I can just close my eyes and see all of you all in the rotunda of the Capitol, surrounding all the way around and going where the purple, I can see it in my mind's eye. And when the Speaker of the House stands up and asks people to raise their right hand, and Max Rose is standing right there being sworn in.
To close it out right now. 72 hours to go. When General Wesley Clark made a decision as to who would be the first person he would endorse in the 2022 election, he came to Staten Island to endorse our campaign. General Wesley Clark, the great savior of the Albanian people. When Joe DeGuardi, the leader of the esteemed Albanian American organizations fighting for this community, made a decision who would he endorse in this race, who would be the only candidate he would come out to stump for in 2022. He chose our campaign because of what we fight for. And when Chairman Meeks was at that fork in the road, deciding whether or not to stay in the Indo-Pacific or to come back to New York, he made the decision to divert that plane, come back to New York, be here with us, because he also knows, despite having control over all American foreign policy, he knows how important this campaign is too, and how important this community is too. So what do you say we show these gentlemen what we're capable of on Election Day? How does that sound? How does that sound?